My name is Astrid Frohloff. I have the pleasure to moderate this event. It is known that the world is losing its most powerful tool in healthcare, antibiotics. So today we are presenting a worldwide new initiative which will be taking on antibiotics innovation challenge. We have with us today some of the key players of the initiative, a very strong lineup of the heads of leading pharmaceutical companies. We are welcoming here in the studio
Antibiotics have been game-changing, life-changing for modern medicines, but we are losing their power. And already now, every year, 700,000 lives are lost in the world because of antimicrobial resistance. And the problem is a science problem, but it's also an economic problem. Right now, there's no viable economic system for the development of new antibiotics, as a result of which, since the late 1980s, we haven't seen a new class of antibiotics reach the market. And we see the problem that biotech companies, which are in the business, they are declaring bankruptcy. We raised almost $1 billion from the industry, and we are optimistic that by the end of the year, we will have way past the $1 billion cap, and we are optimistic that this will give us critical mass to revitalize, to fund clinical research. We have the ambitious goal of bringing 2 to 4 novel antibiotics to the market.
We can bring to the table is expertise on creating and running a joint venture fund. We can support young startups in the way they can bring their medicine to the market.
I came to witness some years ago what Dr. Tedros of the WHO refers to as the slow tsunami. So we decided to launch the Repair Fund, so that it's an impact fund where we sacrifice the usual returns we look at for the benefit of greater society.
It is estimated that by 2050, this number could rise up to 50 million deaths per year. This is a staggering number, and it puts almost an obligation on both academia and science and also industry to come up with new solutions.
The focus of the investment will be on startup companies and biotech companies, and that's why we see the biggest excitement about this initiative is in biotech companies who see it as a lifeline. The fund will also offer in-kind support, which is not counted in the billion we were talking about, because here you do have companies who have the know-how in clinical development, in how to bring a product to the market, in scaling up manufacturing. Those are all the elements which Big Pharma is actually strong for, but it will benefit SMEs, biotech companies.
We have an incentive problem. As Thomas Kuhni said, novel antibiotics shouldn't be used. They should be available if needed, but they should not be used at a large scale. And if you have a system where only the consumption of an antibiotic is being rewarded, that would be basically a perverse incentive. So we need to find new incentive systems too.
So while this fund obviously needs to invest in the best and latest research and development, clearly the long-term solution has to be a viable economic model. So there has to be an element of discussion, putting our heads together with policymakers, with agencies, NGOs, with governments to think through how best to create reimbursement models.
We've had a lot of lessons learned through COVID-19, and I think we are well prepared, also thanks to this AMR fund, to support the innovation ecosystem and make sure that in the future we have the right incentives around the world